Hi, thanks for joining a new video. Today we're unboxing the Vivo X300 Pro. Let's start. This device is very exciting, especially for the most enthusiastic of cell phone photography, because it will really offer us very attractive things, and it is already available in Mexico. Its price in Vivo's official store called vivoshop.mx is 24,999 pesos for the only edition of 16 GB of RAM and 512 of storage. The truth is that it is quite competitive in that sense. Then, what we're going to do next is take this box away to discover what we might find inside. Because pay attention, here is the device itself, and I must say, it looks really impressive. Let's carefully peel off this protective layer that comes from the factory, allowing us to access it directly and thoroughly get to know it in detail. There it is. Let's also take off its sticker, and there you have it. It's a very attractive cell phone. And it's even soft to the touch. Let's power it up, and as it does, we can explore what else is available here. Inside the box, it includes this small box where we locate the tool used for removing the SIM card tray. Let me check if there's any additional content inside, because it seems like there might be something more. Oh, take a look at that. It includes the usual papers and a great case. What I love most is it's not a Sense case. It's a transparent one that turns yellow over time, but it matches very well with the color of the device. I loved it. This is a case I would definitely use on my cell phone. Let me know how you prefer to use it, with a case or without one. To be honest, it looks quite good here, and it still maintains a nice appearance. I've really loved it so far. But let's explore what other items are included here besides what I've already mentioned. It seems like we'll discover an additional box on the right side of this main box. So let's see, we'll move it and we'll pull out its contents. It looks like this is the wrong side, but either way we're going to have access. Here's the charger. The fact that a high-end device actually comes with a case and a charger already makes it quite an attractive option. In this instance, it would be a Vivo Flash Charge 90 watts charger. Okay, surely on the other side of the box, we will find the cable, which is from USB-A to USB-C. This is something I would really like to see improved. I don't understand why so many manufacturers still insist on including USB-A on their chargers. I believe it makes them appear quite outdated. It really should have USB-C, but, well, this is what we have here. The thing to be grateful for, as I was mentioning earlier, is that it does come with a charger, which is unlike most of the current high-end devices that typically no longer include this essential accessory. So essentially, that has been the box contents. Let me put everything back in place, so that we can finally concentrate on getting familiar with the phone. I have already configured the phone here, and honestly, the initial impression is that it's quite a basic phone based on what you can see. I'm accustomed to flagship models not coming with all this terrible Telcel branding, and I'm familiar with the fact that the more affordable phones I test are the ones that have this kind of wallpaper and these unattractive widgets. That's why my initial feeling was quite unsettling. We are going to remove this because fortunately, it can be removed. Let's put a wallpaper of those that come included with the device so that our feeling begins to change. Because the truth is that it was fatal, the first impression, to see that terrible Telcel. Let's also apply it to the lock screen, because the lock screen also looks horrible. Let's see, I think that's where it's taking a little bit more shape. We are definitely still going to go ahead and remove this Telcel services folder. Wow, it's just that it seemed like it was really being overwhelmed by Telcel. Actually, we can also see here, this is something that we really didn't like it at all, seeing Telcel branding everywhere. On the device, it appears to look slightly better, although it still has numerous pre-installed junk apps that I truly found unappealing. If you purchase it from the official Vivo store, I assume it won't come with this entire unpleasant bloatware experience. However, if you decide to buy it with Telcel, be prepared for the full experience you just witnessed. In fact, you might notice that the lock screen is still appearing with the awful Telcel background filled with spam and wow, it is truly incredibly ugly, this thing we are looking at. But let's see if we can somehow remove this lock screen right here. We'll go ahead and select what we want to customize. Well, so far it doesn't seem to let us disable this terrible thing. Here, we are going to check if we can find a way out, perhaps through Discover Home. Surely, somewhere over here, there must be an option. It's pretty well hidden though. It must be said that they really complicate things quite a bit just to remove that horrible lock screen. Look, it even shows us some advertising right here. What an incredibly obnoxious way for Telcel to spoil the experience of using a high-end device. Let's see, maybe we can customize the quick access here. No, it seems they have completely replaced the device's lock screen for us, and without a doubt, the experience is just terrible. Before, at least, it was somewhat easier to remove that lock screen, but now it appears that it's not so simple anymore. We're going to attempt to uninstall this application, which is called Home. Let's take a look and see if this is the correct method. Let's see. Here we go. Now be uninstalled. It's quite amazing. I just can't believe it. So let's go ahead and disable it and then force it to stop. Let's find out if by doing this we can finally achieve the Telcel-free experience we desire. It seems like the most frightening parts of this video have just occurred. At the very least, it appears that we might be able to enjoy a Telcel-free experience now, although there is still a bothersome notification present that will compel us to install some unnecessary games here. But it seems that after that, and finally, after this bitter pill, let's review the cell phone specifications. It's 7999mm thick and weighs 226 grams. For a flagship, it's quite well done in terms of thickness. Though it feels heavy due to the large camera module, yet it gives a sense of high quality in hand. The back cover feels soft. It is available in dune and black colors. Interestingly, it appears not to feature Gorilla Glass or Scott Sensation. We are also unsure if the glass is an in-house development by Vivo or something similar, leaving the screen and front's durability a bit of a mystery. However, it does come with IP68 and 69 ratings, ensuring full water resistance. Even pressurized jets of hot water won't be a problem for it. The display is an AMOLED measuring 6.78 inches, which is quite wide. In this instance, it features a resolution of 2800 by 1260 pixels, resulting in a density of 452 pixels per inch. Additionally, it incorporates LTPO technology, allowing for a variable refresh rate ranging from 1 to 120 Hz. This means that for static content, it will use minimal battery, while for dynamic content, it provides an excellent level of fluidity. The screen's peak brightness reaches up to 4500 nits. The screen is bright and high quality, featuring numerous eye protection modes that are increasingly common, but in this case, it offers many additional options and advanced pulse modulation, reaching up to 2160 Hz. It also includes stereo sound, with a speaker at the bottom and another in the earpiece area for calls, outputting through the frame. Also, as first impressions, is a sound that does result in good quality with bass presence even in the secondary speaker. It is what we expect from a flagship, and in this case does not disappoint. The front camera is 50 megapixels with aperture f2.0 and autofocus, so it seems to be very good, although I do not like that when rotating to the front camera immediately switches to portrait mode. And portrait mode, it comes with a lot of editing features and such that can make the photo look more artificial. Here you see the result, and even in the photo properties it states f16, as it supposedly mimics the portrait mode aperture. However, the actual aperture is f2.0. That's why I prefer not to use portrait mode for a classic selfie. But as you can see, despite looking overexposed in the preview, the final photo is of good quality, and having autofocus certainly helps a lot. For the rear, on the main camera, we will find 50 megapixels with aperture f1.57 and optical stabilization. Then here is the ultra-wide-angle camera of 50 megapixels with aperture f2.0, optical stabilization and autofocus, so that's very good capabilities. And finally, the powerful telephoto camera with f2.67 aperture, 3.5x optical zoom, and a 200 megapixel sensor for enhanced digital zoom. Of course, it also has optical stabilization. Let's take a quick look at it. Here you're looking at 15mm. The picture from the ultra-wide camera is pretty wide, very good quality. Then the main camera keeps the same colors as the ultra-wide camera. It's great in that respect. 50mm in crop, which also maintains optical quality. Next, the jump to the 85mm telephoto camera, which changes its color slightly, it must be said. Then we keep zooming in, and at 135mm it still maintains near optical quality. It zooms well at short and medium distances. Notice we're getting into long distance zoom. 170mm and 250mm, still spectacular in detail. Even at long distances, 500mm looks great. At 750mm, it's starting to look a bit odd, but still great. And this feature allows us to reach up to 100 times digital zoom. It's important to mention that at this level, it indeed starts to appear quite artificial, with details that are simulated by the artificial intelligence. However, the reality is that it's remarkably competitive. Up to 30 times zoom, which I believe is the level of zoom you would typically use on a daily basis. The results are impressive. Additionally, it's worth noting that Vivo offers this telephoto extender kit, which is truly a marvel, especially considering the advanced level of technology it incorporates. Notice that here it comes with this case, which we're going to be able to attach to the device, as well as these rings. So notice the basic performance. Here, we place this, and then we're going to remove this ring. After that, we will place this little kit with the white dot as a reference point. We turn it, it clicks, and it's ready for us to now attach the extender that comes over here in this box. This extender is going to kind of multiply the telephoto lens effect. Although it is quite big and heavy, but hey, for the most enthusiastic of photography from the cell phone is going to be quite exciting. Look, we remove the cover, we place it over here, just like on the cameras, because it comes with a white reference point. Turn it until it clicks and you've got this tremendous cell phone right here. With this level of optical zoom, the device automatically detects when you've attached this accessory, and it's going to transform the interface. Watch closely, there it is. Now let's go ahead and activate this extender, and that's all there is to it. Now let me take off the cover, and there you have it. This action is going to provide us with access to an incredibly higher zoom capability. To put it simply, it multiplies the existing zoom capabilities of this device by a factor of 2 to 35, using that same periscope lens. But let's take a look at the results. Obviously in the review I'm going to show you more details. Here you are looking at 200mm, it looks very good. This would be more or less 8.3x. So you have a reference then in 400mm. It still looks 100% optical quality. And here we would be talking about more or less 17x zoom. When it comes to cell phones, the capabilities are still quite impressive at 800mm. In this instance, we are discussing a 33x zoom on cell phones, which I personally see as the maximum level you would typically use in your everyday life. At this point, you're starting to understand just how remarkable it truly is. With this lens, you have the entire range covered that you would ordinarily use daily. With nearly 100% optical quality, it looks absolutely stunning, yet it still allows you to reach up to 1600x. Where it begins to appear somewhat artificial, yet the quality remains notably good. The maximum you could achieve is 5400mm, roughly equivalent to 220 by 25 times digital zoom. Here you rely on artificial intelligence to interpret things like the wall's texture, which is perceived as little flowers. Is it that you rely 100% on artificial intelligence? But before that, the results seemed brutal to me. I love what you can do with this camera. This special photography kit will be available at a price of 6,999 pesos here in Mexico. On screen, you see the reference price in dollars. And in the video recording, note that you could get up to 8K to 30 frames per second with the main camera, or 4K to 120 frames per second with the main and telephoto, or 60 frames per second available for the 3 rear lenses. While the front camera would allow us to access 4K at 60 FPS. I think you're covered for video recording, as you can even record in Dolby Vision. Watch out for the battery. It has a capacity of 6,510 meters in the version arriving in Mexico, which is the same as the Chinese version. The European version is identical, has a lower capacity of 5,440 mAh. So fortunately in Mexico, if we can enjoy the maximum capacity. It also supports 90 watts wired and 40 watts wireless charging, comes with an ultrasonic fingerprint reader that is very fast integrated into the screen, and we will find the MediaTek Dimensity 9508 cores processor, 512 GB of storage, and 16 GB of RAM. Additionally, Vivo introduces a chip developed in-house called VSys-1 to enhance photos, which reportedly delivers impressive performance. For those interested in numbers, the Geekbench benchmark shows a single-core score of 3,424, which is very high, and a multi-core score of 9,194, also a high score. However, it slightly trails behind the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Yet, I believe such differences at these high levels aren't easily noticed in daily use. Inantutu scored 34,71,835 points. It is a really very powerful processor. But look, for the moment, this has been all for this video. Remember that this is just the unboxing and first impressions. Quick look, but soon we will have the video review, where we will test in depth this device in conjunction with its accessories. I hope you liked this video. If you did, you know you can tell us, and we'll see you next time.